Hello, and how the hell are you? Welcome to my Greasy Paint channel. Today we're going to do a winter scene with only using 4 colors. A very limited palette. Let's get started. So, that song you hear in the intro, by the way, is my band Radioactive Material. Post some links in the description. You should see them right there maybe. And, check us out. Give us a like, follow. Check us out on all our platforms. So, I'm going to have a dark sky. Maybe go into a little bit of the white, the titanium white, as well as the French ultramarine blue and black. I want this to be very dark sky. I added the white in there to give it a bit of a gray tone. So let's try that. That should be good. That's perfect actually. With my little X strokes, well, big strokes actually. Just back and forth on the canvas, just like that. Already got the liquid white on there, it saves time, because I just want to get into it, I don't like these videos to be too long. I can't promise they'll be a half hour like Bob, but there we go. Just go in a little bit more. Just let the brush dance. Let's do its thing. Work my way down. And we're going to have a little water in the bottom. Just go from left to right and work up. Depending on the side you do, start from that side and work your way up. See, when I go to the right, start from the right, work my way in, start from the bottom to the top. Okay, should be good enough. Just gonna take a clean dry brush right now and just get rid of the brush hairs here. Just blend it out a little bit better. When you do this part, you can do it softly. Make sure these horizontal lines are straight. Still water is straight. And that fast, you got the sky and the water on the bottom. Okay. I'm gonna make some clouds, and to do that, I'm gonna go with the fan brush. I believe this is the big number 6 fan brush. This is some liquid white. Get a lot of paint on there. Just with the corner. Just with the corner. Spin that brush around and keep it moving. Little circles, watch. Okay. White. Gonna add another cloud. Behind there. And you know what? I think I'm going to darken the bottom a little bit. So I'm going to go to some black because I have the white in there. It's going to come out a little gray, which is fine. Just go underneath it like this. Same way, circles, and do not stop. Do not stop. Okay. From there, do a little bit here. All right. Clean the brush out. Trying something different, by the way, today. Trying baby oil to clean the brushes. A lot of people in the community said it works better, it's a lot safer than thinner. And I am working indoors, so maybe I shouldn't be working with any thinner regardless. Now with a clean brush, just the bottoms. You don't want to touch the top yet. And just with the corner, just blend the dark and the light together. And you're doing this very, very gently. Okay. And now for the top, all we got to do is fluff it. Watch. Kind of going like that, kind of like a U shape. Okay, now very gently. Cross, back and forth, very gently. 3 hairs and some air, as Bob would say. Okay. Just fixing that. There we go. Got a few clouds. Now let's mix up the base color for a mountain. I cannot do a winter scene without a mountain. We'll take the blue, the Alizarin Crimson, maybe just a little bit of black, just a tiny bit. Mix all those dark colors. Pick it up, turn it over. Pick it up, turn it over. Very easy. I actually think I might make 2 different values of this color. So we'll put that there and add a little bit of white. Just a little bit on the purplish side, so we're going to add a little bit more blue. Might even have to add more blue to my palette.
Two hours later.
There we go. Because I might make one mountain a little bit further than the other one. So I want a lighter base color. So let's pull that out flat and cut across. Okay. Now, where do I want that further mountain? Well, how about right over here? I'm really working that paint in, and when I scrape off that that excess paint, I'm really getting it in there, watch. Almost like I'm trying to get it off even after I put it in. But you couldn't do that if you wanted to. It's already there. we're just looking to stain the canvas. That's what we're looking to do. One more peak right there. Maybe it just goes off like that. Okay. Swipe the knife off. And now, with a, well, not a clean brush, but a color that's not going to affect this in a bad way, what we're going to do, take it a step further, and drag this color out. Watch. Already I'm creating my peaks. You can keep changing because you already see things and these peaks start to form and where they're going down to. It already tells you where you're going to use your highlight, you know? Now I'm just going to soften that up. Make it a little hazy in the back because, like I said, it's going to be further away. So it's all right to do that. All right. Now, for the highlights, since this is further away, I'm going to take the white and gray it down a little bit. So I'm going to mix it up with a little bit of that black. That should be good. Cut off that roll of paint. Whoa, let's do that again. And that roll should look like this. And cut that off. Now, very, very gently, line that up and highlight. Here we go again. Such a gentle flow of the knife. Cannot express how light that touch is. And honestly, that's the part where you might get discouraged the first time you try this. Best advice I can give to you with these mountains is that if you feel that, first of all, that roll of paint should be the only thing touching. That knife should not even be touching the canvas when you do that. Cut that off again. Here we go. Okay. I'll give you another tip. Watch this. I'll try to bounce the knife, so that paint will break even better. Watch. So if you're having trouble with your mountains, that's another way to do it. Okay, let's bring this down a little more. Okay, one more highlight for that one. Okay, and up here, maybe just a tiny bit. And don't worry about this, because when we add the shadow, it'll probably go away. All right. So for that shadow color, we'll take that white we had, put some blue in there. Yeah, I definitely need to add more blue. Careful with that blue color, it's very strong. You only need a tiny bit of it. Hopefully the camera caught it. Okay. Put one right there. Sometimes it's really just touching the canvas. Let's do this. Now the big one. Straight down. Let's do it again. We have some excess paint here and we can just drag that in a little bit. Okay. Pull it out, cut across. There we are. I'm just going to step back and take a look at that. Now we can begin fixing what we don't like. But you know what? I know I'm going to add another, like a hill here. Because my last painting I said I was going to add a hill and then I changed my mind. So I'm not going to bother fixing this. So let's move on. We don't have to. You guys at home should try. Because practice makes perfect. All right, now let's go to our regular mountain color, which I have to remix because it's a little bit more on the crimson side and I want a little bit more to the blue. I even add some more black in there. And where do I want this mountain? Well, since this is further away, I can make this, to look even bigger, make it a little bit higher, like the peak. It's going to be maybe right there. And another one right here. I don't want it to look too identical to that one, so. And maybe this just goes off to the side like that. I'm going to cover up that other mountain a little bit. And this one, I don't want to cover it up completely. But that's the thing, you have to decide these things. So maybe that goes right there. It's a little too perfect now. It just goes off like that. Okay. And then there'll be another hill coming over there, so should be fine. Okay, let me just get more paint on there. That should be enough. I guess we'll find out, right? Okay, I'm gonna take our brush with fairly a little bit of the same color. It's the only time it's alright to do that, otherwise you want it really clean and dry. And drag it out again like we did before. The only reason I'm doing it now is because just trying to save time here. And one of the reasons we do this is it gets rid of the excess paint, and we're going to create sort of this misty area on the bottom. So it looks like the mountain's just disappearing to nothing. Already it looks like we got some fog down there, some mist. See? Okay, just gonna wash the brush one more time. And since I'm only using one camera here, can't show you my brush cleaning method, but pretty much do it the same way Bob does. I have a little wastebasket here that I just, yeah, so that's what you heard just now. If you don't have one of those, I highly recommend getting it. Makes cleaning up a lot easier. It's less of a mess. Just gonna wipe the knife off. Once again, it is highlight time. So drag out that way. See, as flat as you can get it. We'll cut across. And here we go. Once again, very, very gentle. Now, I didn't mix this white with anything because it is closer, so it'll be a little bit more vibrant. I promise you, once you get the highlights down for your mountains, and you really know how to do it, you're going to want to do that to every painting you make. You will want to add a mountain. I promise you that. I went from, I don't want to do mountains because I couldn't do that. I couldn't get the highlights right, to I can't stop doing them now. Paint out. Nice. It's okay if it's picking up some of that lavender color underneath. You know what? Okay. And since the light is coming from over here, just a little on here. How about that? Okay. So it's shadow time again. We're gonna, yeah, I'll put one over there too. It's not shadow time. Same way, very gently. And if you get a little bit more highlight into the next peak, it's fine. You'll take care of it when you add your shadows. Now watch. Blue. I already made up all my blue. Add some shadows right here. It's a little too much. peak right there. All right, now here comes the big one. If you notice, I get really quiet when I do the highlights. And that's because it's just such a gentle touch that it's almost like, you gotta be quiet. Gotta, not while I'm highlighting. If any of you are having problems with them, comment, message me. Try to give you as many tips as I can as possible. Because if I can do it, so can you. I promise you that. Okay, right here. I just want to fix this one peak right here. Okay, now you can start touching up a little, For example, just going to wipe the knife off first. Come back with a little more white. Drag it out. Get that little paint. Just fix that. See? Can fix a lot of things in this technique. It's one of the things Bob Ross meant about the happy accidents. You know that quote. I'm not even going to repeat it. That's his thing. All right. Now, clean, dry brush. When I promise you, I haven't even used this yet. Tap the bottom and follow those angles. The mountain just blends into nothing. Just gonna lift up very, very gently. Lift up, following those angles again. If you've watched Bob, it's exactly what you have to do, because he says the same thing. Okay, so we have our two mountains. Let me step back and look at that. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around, grab my color here, add more blue. When you start painting, you might tend to think you need to be very conservative, but you know what? I know I said you could always add more, but there's always a way to save excess paint that you didn't use. But that might be a different video for another time. So, let's continue. Said I was going to have a hill going right here, didn't I? All right, well, let's add it. Okay, wait a minute. Being indecisive now. Should it go here or here? I think I'm going to put it over here so I have enough room to play over here. All right. I'll go into Alizarin Crimson. Drag out some blue. Go into some of the white I didn't use. Because this is going to be far back, so it should look lighter than it needs to. If you tap the brush like that, it's a good way to get in a lot of paint to load the brush. Okay, should be good enough. And now, I'm just gonna lift up a tiny bit, like very tiny. And it's gonna make it look like distant trees in the back. You don't want to lift up too high, trust me. That'll make it look like tiny trees are all the way back there. Now, I'm gonna go to a little bit more blue. I'm gonna make this color a little darker, tiny bit of black. I'll put another hill right in front of there, and when I do that, because it's darker, it'll look like it's closer. And the hill we put is further away. There we are, see? There we are with our little trees. All right.
Okay, that's a dude jacking off.
Now with the clean dry brush, let's reflect that into this water. So how do we do that? Well, very gently, we grab and just pull down, straight down, like that. Then go across. You may not be able to see it because it's a very light color, but it'll be back there and we can fix that in the foreground. Let's add some evergreen trees that'll be back here. Go into that black, grayish color we had here. Try to pick up all this color that we had from here. A little bit of crimson. Downward strokes, like this. And they're very far away, so that's why this is a light color. I'll stop right about there because, well, I know I'm going to put something else here. All right. Maybe that just sort of fades out into there. Okay. Now once again, let's grab to make reflections. This is how easy this is. Just gonna grab, Pull down. Slightly go across. Instantly, we have some reflections. Okay. Now, kind of want that one to be straight. Yeah. We can take a bit of the titanium white. Just try to cut in some waterline here. Should really be doing that with the liquid white, actually. I said titanium white. Let's get some of our liquid white. Open that up. You load that a little bit differently, which I will show you in a second. Scoop some off with your knife. I'll put it down here. And just, it's almost like you're slicing across. Before we would drag across, now we're gonna slice across. Now, that's, and keep this very straight, be careful. And there we go. As that goes into the back over there, just fades away. Helps distinguish a nice little water line there. All right. Save that liquid white for later because we're going to need it. Just put that there. Okay, now I am going to put, maybe, this is a winter scene, so maybe we need some snow. So let's make a bank of snow, nice big bank of snow, right here. Hold on, let's make sure this brush is clean and dry. We'll pull out the titanium white. Get a lot of paint on that brush. Just make a hill right here. I'll just drag that out right there. Maybe I want to keep going. Make it a little further this way. You can do that. It's not too late yet. Grab a little bit of that liquid white. There we go. And there we are. Should have had it on me already, but I will use the oval brush for these trees. Now to do that, let's mix up some color. Excuse me. Drag out some black, some of the white, and make a nice gray color. a lot more paint actually. I didn't take enough. Being too conservative with the paint. Now, if you don't have an oval brush, nice 1-inch brush should do the trick. Okay. Some spots will be more defined here. And now that we have our darken, I'm going to take some paint thinner, add a whole bunch of few branches here and everything here. I said I was going to use the baby oil, but thing is, I don't know how the baby oil reacts using it as a thinner to do what I need to do right now for the paint. Maybe a little bit. That purple color. Okay. Let's get that color really runny there. Here we are. Make a whole bunch of limbs, trunks. Just make the brush dance. That's all you gotta do. Some of this is going to be covered up anyway when we add highlights in there. I want snow in the trees, and you'll see how to do that in a second. These don't really have to be perfect right now because I'm going to put some trunks here that'll be a little bit more defined. Okay. Now, about one more. We'll define this one a little bit better. The reason why we need to do it like this is because a thin paint will stick to a thick paint. We already had the thick paint up there, so that's how it works. All right. And since we now know thin to thick, we're going to take a little bit more liquid white. We're going to add some snow there. Since we have a little bit of blue on the brush, we'll mix it in with that liquid white and the titanium white. I put so much titanium white on my palette. might even need more titanium white because I'm not done. Gotta put something over here. Okay. As you can see, some of those branches are getting covered up, but that's all right. And we covered up part of the mountain, but that's okay too. We know it's there. There we go. It's looking like quite the cold scene already. Some frosty trees right there. Okay. Let's drag this out a little. There we go. See? That easy. Let's go into some more dark color. Take a little bit more of the black. Finish up with this blue. Let's really get some paint in there. Okay, with the fan brush now, we had some evergreens back here, so we're gonna have ones that are a little bit closer. Watch. First decide where you want one. That's a good spot. Just the corner of the brush again. Back and forth. And as you work your way down, you go a little bit wider. There you are. Let's make a few more. This one's a little smaller, maybe. You decide. It's good to have it for a variety of sizes when it comes to the trees. Makes it look more natural. I'm gonna step back for a minute. It's looking good. It's looking good. Perfect. All right. Oh, something I didn't do over here is make a water line. Oh, we'll do that now. This is why you should take your time with painting. And you know what? I'm gonna add maybe some trunks here. Well, let's define this a little bit better. Let's It's winter, so maybe these trees are missing some, you know. See that? Take what's left. Just here and there, because it's going to get covered with highlights. So you really don't need to show too much. There we go. I get carried away with doing it. But it doesn't matter because we're going to add some highlights to it now. Let's see how that happens. Take more liquid white. 1 second, let me get it. Put it on there. It's got a touch of the blue in here. Just light's coming from the right, and you don't want to overdo this. Sort of maybe try every other branch. Because if you cover up the whole thing, it's going to lose its effect. And there we are. That's just enough. Okay. You can get more titanium white. We're almost there, guys. We'll lay that out. How about some reflections? We know how to do them, so why not? Actually, before we even do those, to make the reflections more defined since they're closer, we're gonna just do a rough, very rough trees on the bottom here, going the opposite way. Really doesn't have to match too well. Just want to get some color here. Doesn't take a lot. And I'm just using the color that's left over on that dirty brush. Okay. Clean dry brush and straight down. And, as you know, cross. And just diffuse it like that, and there you go. You have those reflections. Now, trees don't grow out of the water, so what the hell is it sitting on? Well, that's why I added more titanium white. I'm gonna drag that out. Oh. Just cut off our roll and hold back right there. There we go. And work right to left. If you're doing something like this, right to left. If I were to make a bank over here, it would be left to right. That's how it's done. Okay, and just cut out our water line again. It'll help define that. Put some actually into the water so you can actually, there we go. I didn't put any out here, so I'll do that. You're just like using the knife to slice into that canvas. And don't worry, you won't actually be able to do it. If any of you actually happen to do that, send me a picture, because I've never heard of that happening. Okay. One more right here. All right, everyone, if you found this video helpful to paint along with, please hit the like button. If you've enjoyed what you saw, please hit the subscribe. You can see all my work on my Instagram, so go follow that. Till then, keep your dreams high and your pompadours in the sky. Let's paint together.